Namaste. Welcome to Agriculture Affairs in Nepal special with me, Nirmala Basnet. Dear viewers, today we will be talking about the affairs of seeds and the goats. The seeds are the propagating part of the plant. The crop seeds such as the rice, corn, and the wheat are the food of the human beings. This is why the seeds are very important. In the recent times, the seeds of the crops around the world are developed and stored for high quality and quantity production. The population pressure of the world increases exponentially each year. However, the earth that feeds the world remains the same size. The intellectuals around the world have realized this and are working to improve the seeds of the crops. In the modern times, we have higher production due to the development of the seeds. The modern crops are feeding more people now than ever before in the history of mankind. Let us look at this report for a little while.
Countries like Indonesia have developed enough rice to feed more than 20 million people in the country. This was possible due to the country's plant mutation breeding program. The program was made possible with the involvement of Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in the year 1997. The seeds are very important for the propagation of the crops. The crops like the wheat, rice, and corn are the main staple diet of the world. The seeds of these crops are developed in large numbers to combat the disease of the crops. The scientists around the world have been busy developing seeds which produce more and have high content of nutrients. Some of the seeds have been genetically engineered to tolerate the disease and pests. Seed biology is a highly dynamic field of plant science with several areas advancing at a great pace. The recent progress on the research of the seed biology can be divided into two major domains. In the first domain fall the fertilization biology, fertilization and initiation of development of the major seed tissues. The second domain is away from the deterministic view of the seed science. This domain deals with the role of the environment in the process of seed development. The tissue communication is a newly developing topic in seeds research. The sharing signals between tissues is a central part of the reproductive biology.
After the report on seeds, let us now talk about the affairs of the seed testing. The first seed testing lab was established in Germany. This was established in the year 1869 AD by a man known as Friedrich Nob. There is a special, simple way of checking the seeds. We can just put the seeds in the water for about 15 minutes. The seeds that float are not good, and the seeds that are at the bottom are good for planting. This is very important to test the seeds as this affects the production at the end of the season. In the modern times, the seed testing is serious business as the quality of seed determines the food security. Let us look at this report for a little while.
Planting high-quality seed is the first step to growing successful crop. The seed testing laboratory provides assurance to the agriculture community that the seed is used for healthy and robust production. The lab is very critical for the agriculture industry. Many samples of seeds are tested in the lab to ensure that the crop results are good. Seed test result analysis. When you want the seeds you have tested, you will get results. In the result, the date, lab number, sample information, analysis method, purity results, germination results, vigor results, and disease results are found. This is very important as this will help you decide whether you would like to cultivate the particular seed in the farm.
After the report on seed testing, let us now look at the affairs of the storage of seeds. Seeds were stored by the farmers from the beginning of agriculture. Agriculture is 23,000 years old. With many trials, the human beings have learned to preserve the seeds. Now, in the modern world, there are seed banks where the seeds are developed and stored. The seeds are studied in the research centers. The idea of all this trouble is to feed the nations around the world. The seeds are stored in special ways just as they are produced in special ways. The seeds that are stored are kept away from pests and diseases. These seeds are dried especially thoroughly. Let us look at this report for a little while.
Under the natural conditions, in places with warm climates, the cereal seeds soon become infested. The seeds suffer from weevils, which make the seeds important. We can know that the weevils attack the seeds if we see a little hole in the grain. This is why the technique for storage of seed is very important. The seeds of the crops should be well dried before storing. In Nepal, the technology of drying the seeds is not available to the farmers. The Nepali farmers sun-dry the seeds. Rice seeds. There are more than 40,000 varieties of rice seeds in the world. In the seed bank, there are over 90,000 seed samples. In India, there are now 6,000 varieties of surviving rice seeds. It is believed that there were 110,000 varieties of rice seeds in India till 1970. The basmati rice is the most popular variety of rice cultivated in India. Rice was first found in the Gangetic Plains of India, which is believed to be the place of rice origin. Storage of rice seed is successful if the grains are maintained at the moisture level of 14%, which is stored at 12% moisture level or less. The best temperature for rice seeds is 40 degrees Fahrenheit or less. Rice can be stored at 70 degrees Fahrenheit if oxygen absorbers are kept along. This will store up to 10 years. In cooler storage, if the rice is sealed in oxygen-free containers, it can be stored for up to 30 years.
After the report on storage, let us now talk to the guest. Our guest is Dr. Tara Bahadur Ghimire. He is seed specialist who has been working on seed and seed technology for many years. He works in NARC Kumaltar in the seed department. He is the branch chief, the principal scientist. Let us now talk to our guest for a little while. Dr. Tara Bahadur Ghimire, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
This is nice. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice.
Yeah.
Today is very warm climate.
Very warm
weather.
climate.
Yeah,
Yes. Spring is here.
Comfortable.
Yes. How did you become interested in seeds?
Because I am working in Nepal Agricultural Research Council. Nepal Research Council is mainly involved in seed sector.
Yeah.
Because NARC is producing the source seed like breeder seed, foundation seed, and I am working in several research stations.
Right.
And I directly involved in source seed production.
Right.
Different farms. That's why I am interested.
You're
And now I am working in Seed Science Technology Division. It is
Yeah.
a central division of seed in NARC.
Yeah.
And that's why I am interested being a Seed Science Technology Division chief.
Yeah.
Because we have to coordinate throughout the country
Yeah.
In the seed sector.
So where do you supply the seeds?
Because NARC produced seed is supplied to the seed producer groups, seed
Yeah.
companies,
Yeah.
because we are producing the source seed like breeder seed and foundation seed.
Yeah.
These seed have to be multiplied further for large scale
Right.
to reach to the farmers.
Right.
That's why some seed license holder, they are who get the license from the seed quality control center. We produce the seed to those
People who have license.
Yeah, license.
Those who have license.
They multiply the seed in large scale. Then this seed reach to the farmer's field.
Are all the seeds that Nepali farmers use made in Nepal, produced in Nepal?
Yeah. Most of the seeds, about 85% of the seed which are being used by the farmer,
By
they
the
are all
Nepali
Nepali
farmers,
seed,
all
yeah,
Nepali
own
seeds.
seed.
Okay.
Because farmers are using the same seed every year,
Yeah.
but now 15% of the seed, these seed comes from the formal sources,
Formal
like
sources.
like some from import or
Yeah.
from other government agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do the seeds come from in Nepal? Besides the 85% that are used, the local varieties, the rest, where do they come from?
Yeah, especially the hybrid seeds are come from the outside the country, especially from India, Japan, Korea, Thailand. Previously, the farm also come from Holland also, especially from outside the country.
Yeah.
But most of the seeds are used by our own seed, open pollinated variety seeds are being used by the farmers themselves, because very few farmers are using these hybrid seeds, because about 3,000 tons of the seed only imported from the outside country.
Okay.
Other seed, about 28,000 tons of the seed being produced in the country, within our national system.
Right.
And this seed goes to the farmers. These are all open pollinated varieties.
Yes.
But we have some hybrids also.
Yeah.
In maize, Komal hybrid 2.
Yeah.
These are also produced by the Sian Seed Center in Thankot, and Rampur hybrid 10 is produced by the Luminous Seed Company.
Right.
Now the hybrids also started to produce by
Nepal,
the private company.
as well.
And in tomato, hybrid seasonal tomato is also produced by our local seed entrepreneurs.
Oh, very nice. Which seeds are developed? Which are in particular developed in Nepal?
Because especially in cereal crops,
right,
about 82 varieties are developed in rice in Nepal.
Right.
And 40 variety in maize. About 45 variety in wheat. And about 20 variety in oilseed. Because a lot of variety are developed in Nepal, and their source seed is produced by the NARC. And these seeds are further multiplied in the farmers' field, and this goes to the farmers. That's why we have a lot of seeds are being grown by the NARC and other seed companies.
So which seeds are imported? If we have so many cereal seeds that are developed local varieties, which seeds are like imported from other countries?
Especially hybrid seed, because farmers are attracted toward the hybrids. We are not in a position to develop the hybrid varieties as the farmer demanded, but we are limited hybrid varieties in our own variety. But farmers demanded different type of varieties. These hybrid varieties came from outside the country, especially vegetables, because about 90% of the vegetable seeds come from the outside the country. Among these, about 20% is the hybrid one. Other is open pollinated. Open pollinated variety is also coming from outside country in vegetables, because we are not in a position to produce good quality seed over here due to several reasons. That's why hybrid seed especially coming from outside the country.
So what kind of measures does Komotar, NARC, take to make seeds in Nepal, produce seeds in Nepal?
Because in Komotar, because we have the some division is there, Komotar. But only Komotar is not producing the seeds, because in Komotar we have the agri-botany division. They are producing the rice, wheat seeds, and we have agronomy division. The agronomy division also produces foundation seed of rice, wheat, and legumes crops. But we have the different commodity programs across the country, like rice research program in Hardinath, wheat research program at Bhairava, grain legume research program at Khajura Nepalganj, oilseed research program at Nawalpur, and citrus research program at Dhankuta, and sugarcane research station at Jitpur. We have a lot of national commodity program. They are developing the varieties, and they are producing the source seed in different farm stations. This seed goes to the seed producer groups, and ultimately then farmers field.
Farmers field. Okay, can the hybrid seeds be secured by the farmers themselves?
No, farmers hybrid seeds is very difficult to produce, because it needs some skills and some set of procedure. Farmers cannot keep it, because in next generation it is segregate. Farmers have to purchase hybrid seeds every year.
Is it like sometimes the hybrid seeds don't come, as this time Garima seed, which was imported from India, did not produce, it failed to produce seeds. So this kind of thing can happen. This is like risk that the farmers have to take. So what should the farmers do?
Because first farmers should purchase the registered varieties, but Garima was also registered, but the seed importer was taken the wrong inferior quality seed they brought from the India, because it was not actually a hybrid, it was inbred itself, and it was not the same Garima as it was registered. It was different.
So it was maturity found fake.
It is maturity period different. Our Garima, which was registered, it should be matured in 125 days, but it matured 170-80 days. It's too long. But it's not matched in our cropping system, and it failed. That's why the government is compelled to give the compensation. We are in the process of giving the compensation.
Yes.
That's why hybrid is risky.
Yes, it is risky. It is risky. Right now, it is time for cultivation of corn and vegetables, because it is spring. So, what type of corn do you suggest the farmers use?
Because we have a lot of open pollinated varieties developed by the National Maize Research Program Rampur. Like we have the Arun 2 varieties in maize. It is a early maturing varieties. It is a yellow type. It is a good small medium plant.
Yeah.
And it matures in about 100 days.
Right.
And Rampur composite, Manakamna 3, Manakamna 4, Manakamna 6, Rampur 4.
Yeah.
We have a lot of varieties. Devti, Manakamna, different varieties. These are very good varieties.
Yes.
They can be keep the seed in their own home for 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
They are not risky.
They're not risky.
But we have a lot of hybrid seed are also registered.
Yeah.
But farmers have to choose the registered varieties from the market.
Yeah.
Then these are the good for the farmers.
Yes. So, what are the policies that the government has for seeds?
We have the National Seed Vision 2013-2025. We have the policy guidelines. This seed vision clearly spelled out the roles and responsibility of different stakeholders. This policy also given the roles to the NARC for variety development and maintenance.
Yes.
First component is the role of NARC.
Right.
And another is the seed multiplication.
Right.
The role of seed multiplication is the private seed companies,
Yes.
national seed companies,
Yes.
and cooperatives.
Right.
And another is seed processing and seed processing.
Yes.
And another is seed marketing.
Right.
And another seed use or quality control. We have the 5 components.
Yeah.
We have the different stakeholders. We are working on this.
Yes.
And especially NARC, our role is to develop the new varieties, to the smart varieties demanded by the farmers. We developed about 273 varieties. We have developed, and they are released for the cultivation, different crops.
Yeah.
And altogether, about 700 varieties have been notified.
Okay.
Among these, some are hybrids from the outside country.
Yeah, they're from outside.
Country,
so I would like to ask you, are all the seeds of Nepali origin registered?
Yeah.
All the seeds of Nepali origin?
Yeah, Nepal, we have lot of local landraces or germplasm.
Yeah.
These seeds have to be registered first, and then it is multiplied and it goes to commercial seed market. But we have registered some varieties, but we are not registering all the varieties.
All the varieties.
We are on the process of registering good local varieties to be registered and for their commercial cultivation.
Research has been done.
Yeah.
Research is going on.
Ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to say to the farmers?
I would like to say to the farmers, because seed is not only the main component in agriculture, because about 20-25% of the seed increment is from the seed. But other aspect also, the management aspect also can contribute a lot in the seed production, in the grain production. That's why I am requesting to the farmers just you can use also open pollinated varieties also. Our own NARC varieties are very good. They are stable, and if we are providing the good management, then we can get a lot of yield from that. Because in Bhaktapur condition, if we give the good management in rice, we can obtain 6 to 8 ton of rice yield.
Yeah.
Why should we go for a hybrid seed?
Hybrid,
it is very risky.
Yes.
But if some farmers they want for hybrid seed, and they must purchase the registered varieties. And they should plant at the appropriate time, not in early or not late, as recommended by our NARC. This should be planted in the same date.
Yeah.
And
then they should
in same
be
location also. Same location.
And this should be purchased every year.
Every year, yeah.
Yes, every year.
And I am also requesting to the farmers to take the bill receipt of from the dealer
company. Yeah.
Yeah. When this bill failure, then they can get compensation.
Okay.
Without this bill, this receipt, the government is very difficult to give the compensation. Because,
okay. Thank you for being in the show, Dr. Tara Bahadur Gimire. Namaste.
Namaste.
After the talk on seed, let us now take a small commercial break. Stay with Krishi Television. After the commercial break, welcome back to Agriculture Affairs in Nepal special. Dear viewers, let us now talk about the affairs of the goats. Goats were the first animals to be domesticated by the human beings. The goats were domesticated 11,000 years ago in Iran. China is the country that produces the most goats in the world and is the country that hungers for the most goats in the world. It is found that Sudan is the country that consumes the most goat per capita, according to one report. In Nepal, the goat is consumed by all the ethnic groups. This means that the goat is highly in demand. The goats have been around in Nepal for a long time. The goats that do well in the mountains are different from those that do well in the flatlands. Let us look at this report for a little while.
Goat farming in Nepal started long time ago. Commercial goat farming is recently in practice in Nepal. Goat farming in Nepal is done mainly by the population in the rural areas of Nepal. Goat farming is very profitable in the industrial scale. Goat has multifunctional feature. Goat produces milk, meat, and organic fertilizer. Goats are very popular for food. In different parts of the world, goats are raised for meat, milk, wool, and leather. The goat meat contains 76.85% water, 2.6% fat, 19.6% protein, and 15 minerals. Due to the low fat content in the meat of the goat, it is considered healthier than other meat that are found. Goat is known popularly as poor man's cow. In Nepal, goats can be kept in all ecological zones. Though the sheep and goats are two different species, the requirements for both are similar. The management can therefore be similar. It is very important to commercialize goat keeping in Nepal. It creates employment. When the opportunity is found in Nepal, the youths and women will not leave the country for foreign employment. Starting goat keeping business can generate independence and self-respect. This will decrease the import of goats from foreign countries. There are many varieties of goats that can survive in Nepal. The best variety can be found out by the local agriculture consultant. While keeping goats, the buck and doe should be kept separately. The buckling and doeling should be kept separately. The kids should be weighed every day. They should gain 50 to 150 grams per day. If they do not gain, then feeding management should be better. In the place where the goats are kept, there should be forage and fodders. Salt and multi-nutrient cake and clean water should be fed to the kids. Looking at requirement of feed and fodder for the goats, goat keeping is of low investment. Shed making can also be of low cost when it comes to keeping goats. Goats are easy to sell in case of need of cash. Goat is consumed by all the ethnic groups in Nepal. Day by day, the goat industry is growing in Nepal. If the market is fixed by the government, goat keeping could be one of the biggest industries in Nepal.
After the report on goat farming, let us now talk about the affairs of types of goats. There are many types of goats according to the climate of the place. There are over 300 breeds of goats in the world. The goat breeds are different from one to another by their size, shape, characteristics, etc. The goats are generally grown for milk, meat, skin, hair, and the fertilizer. The people around the world are very fond of kid leather, which is used to make jackets and shoes. Even the vegetarian world has started to eat the meat of the goats. Let us look at this report for a little while.
There are 4 indigenous breeds of goats in Nepal. The mountain goats known as the Changra, the high and low mountain goats known as the Sinhal, the hills and mid-hill goats known as the Kari, and the Tarai goats which are grown in the lowlands of Nepal. How to start goat business? Select the breed that is suitable for the climate of the area you live in. Choose the breed which you find more beneficial. Consult the experts and get a good training on how to keep the goats. You will need to make a pen for the goats. The new goat farmer has to think about the pasture of the goats. 1 acre of land can sustain 34 goats for a month according to one report. How long does the goat take to grow? The goat reaches puberty after 4 to 12 months. The puberty depends upon the breed, season of birth, nutrition, and overall health status of the goat. The goat is fully grown in 3 years. The best time for the consumption of goat is under 1 year, usually 3 to 5 months of age. At this age, they are 25 to 50 pounds. The goats of this age are known as the kids. The kids do not have body fat until they are 1 year old. In Nepal, many goats are more than 1 year old before they are marketed.
After the report on types of goats, let us now talk about the affairs of feed for the goats. Feeds are very important for keeping the animals. The feed in many parts of the world are cultivated. Many acres of land are allocated for the cultivation of hay, grass, and fodder. In Nepal, the scientists are awakening to the need to allocate the fodder plants and fodder land. Let us look at this report for a little while.
The goat needs about 2 to 4 pounds of hay per day besides the forage in the pasture. The hay can be fed 2 times a day. In Nepal, the fodder plants are cultivated for the feeding of the goats. Bauhinia purpurea is one of the best feeds for the goats. The goats do not need extra grain for survival. They are happy with the hay, grass, and the fodder. However, during pregnancy and lactating, grains can help provide extra vitamins and minerals. The grains can provide 12 to 16 extra protein. Diseases of the goats. The most common disease of the goats are the foot rot, brucellosis, black quarter, anthrax, ammonia, etc. How to avoid the disease? Avoid loading too many animals in one truck. Vaccinate the goats against diseases that occur frequently in the area. It is usually cheaper to vaccinate the goats than have it treated.
This is all in Agriculture Affairs in Nepal special with me, Nirmala Basnet. Thank you for watching the show. I'll be back with more affairs next time. Till then, Jai Krishi, Jai Kishan, Samriddha Krishi, Nepal Kushan.